everyone. We want to welcome you today to the We Are Flora Pearl podcast. I am your host, Latasha J. Humphrey, and in a moment we will jump into this dynamic podcast today. But before we get started, we want to let our audience know that this podcast is being brought to you by the Flora Pearl Foundation, where our vision is bridging the gap, building a legacy. Our mission is that we are a 501c3, community-focused nonprofit mentoring organization, building healthy relationships and partnerships between women and girls through education, community service, networking, unification, and career planning. Our inspiration is Flora Pearl Humphrey. She was my paternal grandmother, and although she passed away in 2001 of a massive heart attack, what she taught about me and my family was about faith, family, and community. And that is where I draw my inspiration from. Now, audience, I have the pleasure to introduce to you a beautiful gem who I have known for many years. She is such a genuine spirit, and she is a woman after God's own heart who loves her family and her community. She is a woman on a mission, and I have always had a great amount of respect for her. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Tynice Smiley. Hi, Tynice. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Tasha. How are you?
I am excellent. It is such an honor. Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that's good to hear.
Yeah. And it's such an honor to have you with us today. And if you would, just briefly introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay. Well, I'm Tynice Smiley. I am, oh, Lord. You got typos. I'm Tynice Smiley. I am single woman. I work in corporate America. I don't have any kids, and I am very active in my community. I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and I am also a very active volunteer within the local community with Girls Inc., as well as my other organization that I'm a member of, the Continental Society, where we focus primarily on the kids and mentoring them within the community. And I'm also an active member in my church.
Okay, that is awesome. That's awesome. And I wanted to go ahead and get into the podcast. And the first topic will be about family. And like I said a few moments ago, my grandmother, she was very instrumental in teaching me and my family. It was about, just faith, family, and community. And I know that you're really big on family. And I wanted you to, just explain why family is so important to you.
Family is important to me because basically that's where you're from, your lineage, where it all starts from as to how you got here. That's all you got. And basically, I feel like with family, if nobody else can be connected to you, or at the end of the day when friends are not around, you have family when you don't have nobody else. And so family and doing things with my family is very important to keep us grounded, to keep us close and connected. And basically, just like teeth and tongue, family falls out. We have differences or disagreements, but at the end of the day, we must still love each other and forgive, and just try to do as our big mamas and grandmamas taught us years before, that we're family first no matter what. And so basically we're the tie that binds ourselves together to our parents and grandparents and the people before us.
Right. That's awesome. And basically, you touched on it a little bit, but even more, how did your upbringing, shape you as a woman?
My upbringing, the way it has shaped me as a woman, being inspired by both my grandmothers, both of them being homemakers, pretty much not having a high school education, but at the same time they were skilled women who knew what it was to go out and work.
Yeah.
They also were, housewives at some point as well, once they, got married. But they basically instill, values within us as it relates to being a lady always.
Mm-hmm.
How to carry yourself. Women are to be, seen and not heard, and just basically how to take care of yourself, or, how to pamper yourself and, not let yourself go. To, basically how to beautify your outer appearance as well as beautify your inside, because, when you spend time with God and, meditate and pray and just basically having a relationship with Christ itself, that foundation that they instilled in me as a child with going to church, going to Sunday school, being a part of Vacation Bible School and all that type of stuff, it practically grew up in me. So, and then also having the willingness to give back and be like the leader of the family, to try to be that glue to connect everybody together. So I guess that's where I get the always trying to reach out to other people to, either do stuff, to organize, to kind of connect people together, whether it's family or friend type events. But basically, they just pretty much gave the advice that of things that they wanted to see us do better than what they did.
Okay.
And so that's pretty much how that went.
Yeah. And just even with that, I kind of wanted to move into, as far as sisterhood, and like you talked about, just kind of the glue. And I wanted to congratulate you on, on your new sisterhood, and ask if you would share, with our audience about why you chose to become a member of your sorority.
The reason I chose to become a member, is because of what I saw my organization doing within the community.
Okay.
It was already things that I was already doing in the community on my own, whereas I was already out giving back, working with different organizations, Boy Scouts of America, Girls Inc., working with various schools within the community, mentoring kids, working with junior achievement, fundraising within the community for different organizations, helping to raise money for the benefit of kids or for the benefit of those in need who are, without certain things, or underprivileged families, helping them to meet the needs and necessities that they need, such as food, clothing, shelter, whatever. So those were things that I was already doing, and my organization, they were founded by our founders based on faith, leadership, giving back for service, and sisterhood. And so with that being said, I saw the women in our community and what they stood for, and practically everything that they did within the community when they did their service projects, or just from being in the midst of the women that have mentored me or that I have grew up or had some type of relationship with. Basically, those women had inspired me over the years. I had one in particular when I first graduated from high school, because my relationship actually with many of the women in my organization goes way back to me being a kid. But one, for instance, in particular, I give an example of one of my sorority sisters. She was my college professor.
Okay.
And she basically, she was doing the booth for getting people set up to register to vote. And so that's how I became active registered voter back in 1997, which is when she was my political science professor. And so she asked me to help work the table with her. And so she said, well, are you a registered voter? And I was like, no. She was like, well, you need to be, become a registered voter. And I'm like, well, why?
Right.
What's all I've ever been taught was our vote don't really count anyway. They're going to do what they want to do with it, So it's kind of like, why should I get registered to vote?
Wow,
so she broke it down to me, and she told me, different things, and she made me go read about the Women's Suffrage March and this, that, and the other. So anyway, to make a long story short, that's how I became an active registered voter. Been an active registered voter since then, and I have also took on the task of getting people registered to vote, as well as convicted felons getting their rights restored. I have worked actively. Well, in the past, I worked actively on President Obama's campaign, both terms that he did. So, getting people registered, going door to door, canvassing neighborhoods, speaking on his behalf, telling them about the importance of voting and why they should vote for him as well.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of things that contributed to my reason for wanting to be a part of my organization that I am a new initiate member to. So I'm glad I chose that organization, and just ready to hit the ground running, doing the things that we're on a mission to do. To carry out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And just like you just mentioned too, as it relates to mentors, I wanted to move into the topic about corporate America. And, do you feel like even with the mentors that you have and, now and even just along your path, have they been, the key to your success?
I would have to say yes and no.
Okay.
And the reason why I say yes is because, I'll start off with the reason why I say no. The reason why I say no is because I have not always had a mentor.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because it wasn't until I got a little bit older to realize that I needed an extra push or guidance to, show me some things or line me up with some connections or people or point me in the right direction that I need to go. I thought that, okay, you get out here and you just search for it until you get what you want. But I didn't really understand the concept of having a mentor, someone you can go to, to get groomed on certain things that you may be uncertain of or having trouble or difficulty with doing, advice or, in that aspect. So, it wasn't until about 2014
okay.
is when I, 2014 is probably when I reached out to a friend of mine who was in a leadership role position, at a local company, and I actually had been admiring her, how she had kind of moved up in her organization as it relates to her being a manager and assistant VP or something like that, to the extent she had one of these big titles. So anyway, I just always knew that I wanted more, I wanted better, and I wanted to do this, I want to be able to do that, or this is just the outlook or the vision that I see for myself, or that are things that I want, but how can I achieve them? I know that I must pray, and I must have faith, and I must believe, but with that, I needed to also put in the work to go hand in hand with it. So I knew I needed to, not just sit and wait, but also work with it. So I started, basically doing my own research on some things that I wanted. I knew at that time I was in banking. I knew the situation that was coming about where the jobs was going to be laying off. I knew that I wanted another career change.
Okay.
And career changing for me was working with government. And so, basically, I reached out to her and asked her, what are some things that I need to do? Is there some classes I need to take? What is it going to take for me to get in HR? What is it going to take for me to get in management? What is it going to take for me to move up to a team lead, to even at least gain the experience? Because I'm applying for these positions, applying for this, and applying for that, but no one is giving me that opportunity because basically they say I either don't have the skills, don't have the years, or I don't have the degree.
Okay.
So what can I do? So basically, I would say the mentorship that I received from her as being her mentee was very good, very informative, and she placed me in a good, I'd say, networking opportunity. She introduced me to some people that basically, it kind of one of those situations where, somebody's name. It's not so much as what you know, it's who you know.
Uh-huh.
So once you make those networking connections, then those people, they remember you because that's so-and-so friend or that's so-and-so, mentee that she's, that's her mentor or whatever. And so they feel like, if that person speaks highly of you or give you a good, recommendation, then they think, okay, she's good. She can do this or she can do that. So I say, yes, having a mentor is very good and has its benefits. And I would advise anyone to seek one for not only just for a career, but for financial, for spiritual,
right,
for family even more so, because it may be something you dealing with, but you don't want to go to your mom about it, or it may be something you don't want to go to your sister or your brother about, but at the same time, you need an extra outlet that will be, able to coach you or give you some type of insight. So, on, where you need to go.
Right. Yeah. And as far as you, I know you mentioned earlier, as it relates to mentors and, just being a mentor yourself, what are a few, pointers that you give to your mentees about, just succeeding in life?
The mentees that I have, are 5th and 6th grade girls.
Okay.
That attend workers in school. Basically, during the short period of time, and I only have them for 30 to 45 minutes once a week. We're actually doing school time, but when I am with them, basically we're going over things that they kind of want to talk about. So it's like if they want to talk about, well, we try not to get too steered away from certain things, but depending on what's on their hearts, we kind of listen to what they, going through at home or what they kind of want to tell you, and then, depending on what it is, we kind of, go from there. But basically, just trying to encourage them that, basically, sky's the limit. And actually, it actually is beyond the sky, shoot for the moon,
Yeah.
Basically, that their environment is not what they have to live by, wherever they live, whatever they're seeing on a daily basis. They don't have to be accustomed to that. They can live beyond that. It's all in the mindset and what they want to believe. If they want to believe that they can be this teacher, the next president, or be an actress or, basketball player or whatever, if they put forth the work, the effort, and be diligent, and hardworking to what it is they're dreaming for, because like I tell people now that, dreams do come true.
Right.
And especially if you have that vision in your head that this is what I want to do, and if you keep being persistent at it, you can't do it one time and give up, or you can't do it once and because you're denied or told no, you feel like, okay, I'm not good enough, or either this is not going to happen for me. I'm a firm believer of being persistent and keep trying until you get it.
Okay.
And that has worked for me in some of the things that I've tried to do within my lifetime.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Awesome. Well, we want to move into the topic about singleness, and I wanted you to share a bit about your experience and, as a single woman thus far.
As a single woman, it can be, I wouldn't say challenging. Well, I would say as a single woman, it can be challenging at times. Sometimes when you're on the outside looking in, you may feel like, what is it that I'm doing wrong, or what is it that I'm not praying for?
Okay.
Because I know I'm praying to, be this woman or this, soon to be wife one day to, my potential, I guess, say husband or whatever, fiance. But, when you're praying for something, you tend to feel like, I guess when you're looking at everybody around you or everybody in your circle that may be moving in that direction or have done that, and you're wondering, why am I still single,
Yeah.
But then when you actually think about things, and in your prayer time, when you're praying about things and when you're reading and meditating,
Okay.
sometimes it's being revealed as to basically why you are still single. You're single for maybe many reasons, or something that God is, molding and preparing you for that's much better than what you thought you had. Or basically, I look at it to be kept by Jesus, basically. As long as, I'm being in His will, doing things the right way, or just trying to live my life in the right aspect for those who are watching me, or observing, what I'm doing, so that they don't pick up the wrong idea or, do something that they may regret.
Right.
So basically, I feel like in my singleness, I am being molded and shaped into the woman that God wants me to be, whether it's to be single for the rest of my life or whether it's to be, single but preparing me for my husband at a later time.
Yeah.
So I am enjoying my singleness, and I'm not lonely because I know that, God is always with me, and He's everything, in my single life. I am enjoying it as it relates to me doing my career, starting my career, traveling, being able to do things that I want to do and stuff like that. So, being a single woman, basically, I don't have any regrets, or I'm not one of those that envy others
Right.
who have a husband or have this or have that, because I also look at the fact that, some people that are in some relationships or in marriages or whatever, some people are in them for the wrong reasons.
Right.
Or some people, if you're looking at them, they look like they're happy and they are perfect patty and this, that, and the other, and got this and that going on. But at the end of the day, if you really look behind their closed doors, they're going through some serious stuff,
Right.
whether it's being, talked to any kind of way, verbally, verbal abuse, or being physically abused, or just barely, making ends meet, but yet you have a husband. And
Yeah.
so I feel like, if you're in those type of situations and you're already almost a breadwinner in itself, me personally, I can do bad by myself. I don't need another person with me just to say I got somebody. But at the end of the day, I can barely get my hair done if need be, or barely, eat or barely pay bills. So I'm learning a lot about being single,
Yeah.
as well as I'm learning more about me in my ways
Right.
and how I can be selfish at times, and so I'm okay with being single until God sees fit for me to be with the man that I have been praying for. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
No, I love it too, and I thank you for sharing that. Just what you're saying too, and being able to appreciate and embrace your singleness. Because
Yes.
it can be where sometimes, just like you said, you're wanting something or desiring what someone else has, and you not even know what it looks like really. And so I really wanted you to just elaborate on that, or really just share with other women who are single, and share
It's
something
okay.
to encourage
It's okay to
them.
be
Yeah,
single.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, and just share something to them to encourage them, for the ones that are anxious or feel like, I have to, or they're not even enjoying it. Like you just said, you're enjoying and embracing it.
Oh yeah. I just feel like patience is a virtue. That was something that we were given. Being patient not only with others but with yourself, and knowing that in due time, things will happen. It's not going to happen on our account, on our clock, when we want them to happen. It's going to happen when it's meant, when it was designed. Just like we don't know the day or the hour when we will leave this earth, we don't know when that time will come. You can prepare, or you can, fix yourself up and look like, that beautiful woman that you want to go out. When you, like what I've been taught, don't go to your mailbox with rollers in your hair, or leave out the house with, rags on your head and house shoes and all this type of stuff. You don't go to the grocery store looking like that, because you never know who you're going to meet.
You're gonna run into, right?
So,
Right.
So basically, it's like this. I'm not gonna say that every time I leave out my house, I'm all put together, snatched, and makeup, lip gloss, and all that. I'm not gonna say that, because that I would be telling you a total story. Because I have my moments when I'm saying I'm finna just run to Walmart to get this, or run in Fred's, or go to the gas station and do something.
Right.
Those be the times I be looking toe down from the floor up, and I be hoping that I can just run in and do what I say I'm gonna do and come back out.
Right.
But that be the times that I see everybody I either went to high school with, college with, church with, or either that's the time that I see this one particular guy that I once upon a time liked, or I crushed on real bad, or either maybe somebody that was my ex or something. You know what I'm saying? You just run into them, or their friend, or friend of a friend, or their mama. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
So that may be that one moment you run into somebody and they feel like you look good, and I'm thinking to myself, no.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, in other words, keep yourself together as a woman.
Yeah.
Always look presentable in some form or fashion way. Just don't leave the house looking any kind of way, or just, this and the other. But in other words, basically, just be patient. Be patient, and for the most part, loving yourself. And you have to love yourself through it all,
right.
Whether you're single or whether you're married, because you can be going through some stuff when you're dating. When you're dating with the intent of marriage. And where we I think where we as single women, when we jump into different relationships, or dating, or seeing people, or however way we do it now, whether it's connecting with them for friendship or whatever, I think we fall short is we we get emotionally involved with
Okay.
people before we become intellectually sound with
That's
them.
good. That's good.
And what I mean by that is we jump into stuff based off our emotions and our feelings, whereas, especially with us being women, we're emotional creatures. When with men, they can care less. They can, hit it and quit it and move and, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like, if we take time to get to know them first and conversate and, just get to know them, their background, where they, what kind of stock they from. And when I say stock, I mean, their family, their mom and their dad side, because you'll know if there's somebody you really want to get tied into. Just like if you knew that they had some money for real,
right.
You'd be like, but that right there don't excite me. That's a long story. That's a whole nother conversation, because especially when you dealt with somebody that didn't have some money, whether it was good money or bad money. But, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When you done been down that route, flashing money in my face don't excite me. It's what you can do for me, mentally, to touch my mind, to touch my heart, to touch my spirit, my soul. So if we can connect on another realm or, in a different aspect, then that'll be better versus, of course, buying me things, that may get my attention, but, let me see what we're about conversating. What are you about as far as church? Because being that I'm an active church goer, church member, I say that, I won't say goer.
Right.
But being that I'm very active in my church, doing things, because I'm there on Wednesday nights, I'm there on Sunday evening, if we have a program, I'm there. And because of my role that I have, that I do, I need to know, how do you feel about church? Are you saved? Have you ever been baptized and confessed with your mouth? Or was you sprinkled? If we're not on the same page as it relates to, what is the word I'm looking for? Basically, the equally yoked.
Right.
Because you don't want to be on two different pages. He can be fine as all get out, but if he worships and believes in Muhammad and all that, and don't get me wrong, it's nothing. I'm not against any of that or what somebody else believes in, but I'm just saying, if I'm a Baptist and he's a Muslim and believes in what he believes, and I believe in what I believe, then there's no compatibility as it relates to us forming a relationship. We may have dialogue as it relates to, okay, why you do what you do and why I do what I do, or why I read this and why you read that, or how you interpret things differently from the way I may interpret it. But at the end of the day, will we be able to come together and actually be in a serious relationship? So me being single, it helps me to not only love me more, treat myself to things, so that way when I do get with somebody, I know how I am supposed to be treated.
That's good.
And I know that I don't wait. Basically, I'm not going to say I jump and do everything so quickly before I allow somebody else to treat me or spoil me or do this, but I tend to want to spoil myself. And that way I know what some of the finer things in life are, and what is to be expected, or what it is that, what it means when someone is catering to you or, wooing you, that type thing. So it's not like, okay, you send me some flowers and I'm just, don't get me wrong, I'm going to be very appreciative and happy and, gooey and glowing inside, but at the same time, when I know it's more to that, and what comes with it, I didn't have that, or I didn't did that, or can buy that. But it's a matter of just pretty much being patient and knowing yourself, loving yourself, because you gotta have that self-love for yourself, and knowing what it is you want and what you will take what you will deal with, and all that kind of stuff. And so when you know your worth, what you want out of life, and once you get with someone and, you know, that person want to build with you and, you know, got pretty much some of the same things in common to grow with you and mature on the same level of Christ with you,
Right.
then, you know, then that's when you can move forward into that realm of marriage. But I think we kind of tend to, as single women, we go from, I think we don't court enough.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We don't court because we are so itching. Okay, this guy's interested in me, or he's, you know, want to text me or call me, this type thing, and yeah, we need to go to dinner, go to a movie, or whatever. But now, after we've done that, we're ready to move on to the jump into this thing of what it is. We're in a relationship, and you jump from relationship to you're trying to press him into marriage, or you know you're sleeping with him, this type of thing. So it's kind of one of those things of you just got to know your self-worth, what you gonna be willing to stand for, and what you're gonna be willing to put up with and deal with. So when you're single, you move on your own time. You don't have to answer to nobody. And even when you're dating, I mean, it's certain things, yeah, you may answer certain things, but I'm not going to give you my whole full whereabouts when you haven't put a ring on it. So it's like you make the decision. Sooner or later, you're going to get tired of me. You know, like, I'm not going to answer your phone call every time.
Right.
It's just kind of one of those things, you know, just can't give nobody that much satisfaction to have that much power over you. So you got to have balance.
That's awesome.
You got to have balance in everything you do, whether it's work, church, love life, single life, girlfriends, whatever. You got to have balance. Balance is probably what keeps me afloat from day to day, because I am busy here and there from dealing with dealing with my parents, doing things at church and work. I'm at work almost 10, 11 hours a day. So it's kind of one of those things is you got to have balance to do some of everything from the moment you wake up and your feet hit the floor, from beginning your day with prayer. On my way to work, I say a prayer.
Yeah.
Before I get the car, I try to say a prayer. If I'm not busy, on the phone, but it's just one of those things, for traveling grace and mercy. That's one of the reasons why I say it when I get in the car, because you can be doing so many things. But get back to the subject, basically, I just recommend or advise that being still, listen to God, and listen to your intuition. Because you can be thinking that you want something, or that somebody is for you, or that, I like him, or he likes me, but it's a lot of warning signs that comes with it that we overlook.
Right.
And then you end up getting tied in with the wrong person, or somebody that already had somebody, and then, once you done got tied in, it's kind of hard to get untied. You feel what I'm going? So
yeah.
It's like, just basically, I call it a waiting season for me. So
Okay.
in my season of waiting,
And it's not a bad thing. That's the thing. So, I mean, I think, you definitely have shared, a lot of gems, even, as it relates to that, like you were saying, be still and, and just be grateful in your waiting. I think that's how you can, to attract even what you desire. And just like you were saying too, I thought was really awesome with, getting to know what you like. Because sometimes, being involved, I can speak in my past experience in some ways, I didn't always know, what I liked. And I'm talking about myself, just you as a person, just different things. And then if you you may have certain standards or certain boundaries on certain things, but if you're still learning you, even early on, I remember being younger, it's just, you're kind of like, I'm learning myself, and the things that I like. So I think that when you know you, and of course you every day you're growing, even as a person, as just period. But when you get to know who you are, then you can better say, what you're willing to do and some things that you may not. So I
Oh
know,
yes.
yeah, I know with that, some other women who are single, they definitely will be blessed by what you've shared. So I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So we're going to move into to a segment we call Mother Daughter Bonds, and it's a series of questions that I ask, and this is kind of just a good way to let our audience get to know you more, and it's just a fun way, for them to do it. So are you ready?
Okay.
All right.
Let's
So
go.
okay. So the first question is, what book most influenced you?
Oh, well. Can we skip that one? Because I feel so bad.
Okay. Well, no. I mean, hey, the Bible, I've heard the Bible. I mean, the Bible's not bad. It's a book, but go ahead.
Look, I was just, that's what I was just about to say.
I'm with you. That's not bad.
The only thing that, and I really can't tell you the exact name of it, but I have this, it's a women's devotional that I read, that I have. It's actually on my desk at work, but someone gave it to me as a gift. But anyway, it's a women's devotional that I read every day because it has the dates on it. And outside of that women's devotional, I will have to say my Bible is something else that I read. The Virtuous Woman scripture is what I look, when I think of my mom, that's what I see as a virtuous woman. So basically, those will be the two books that I can say that I can refer to, because I'm not a book reader. But now, if I see something that intrigues me, or that I'm interested in reading or whatever, then I will purchase the book, or I'll check it out at the library. I do have a library card.
Okay.
But yeah, I will, check it out, or either I purchase the book, or, and I'll read it. But I'm not one of those that's in the book clubs and, read this novel and read this book, and that's not me, because I think I guess because I'm so on the go,
right?
Busy here and there, sitting down just actually reading but actually sitting down reading a book. I can't say when the last time I did that. But
okay.
Other than me reading my scriptures and my daily women's devotional, those are the only two that I read on a regular.
Well, that's fine. That works for me. And what are 3 qualities that got you where you are today?
Let's see. When you say got me where I am today, meaning
just today as a woman, just who you are. What are 3 qualities that has been consistent for you, that you were like, this is who Tynice is?
Being determined, I would have to say dedication, being dedicated, faithful, loyal to whatever it is that I'm passionate about, or the things that I believe in. Just trying to, I'll say, for instance, I'll give you a prime example. My job that I currently have.
Mm-hmm.
I've been applying for the job since 1997.
Okay.
When I first got out of high school, have been applying for the job, the same job, that many times. had my first interview for the job back in 2009. I didn't study because now I know that you have to study and prepare for interviews. That's why I said I could have had these questions.
No.
But anyway, yeah, I didn't study and prepare, so therefore I didn't get the job back in 2009 because I was not ready. I was not prepared. I didn't know I needed to prepare for the interview. I just thought, okay, I can go in there and answer these questions, and it's going to get me in.
Okay.
Well, no, it didn't happen that way. So anyway, I just think I wasn't the chosen candidate at that particular time. But I still continued to apply.
Okay.
Continued to apply, even from 2009. It wasn't until 2014 that I applied again.
Okay.
That's why I say being persistent. Being determined, and also writing it down in my Now Faith book. My Now Faith, I keep I write a lot on sticky notes, but whenever something comes to my mind, if I find a piece of paper, I'm writing it on, even if it's a sticky note, envelope, or just whatever it is I can find, even if it's the back of a receipt, I'm writing what that thought that came to my mind that is being revealed to me, saying, hey, this is what I want to do. This is the vision or the goal or something that I'm desiring to have or see come to fruition. So basically, I had wrote down, I want to work for the government. I want to work downtown. I want to work at Social Security. And I prayed about it, applied for the job, got the interview, got the job. I went back and I found the little book that I had wrote it down in. This was prior to me redoing it, doing the application. But like I say, now mind you, I've been applying for this same job from 1997 every year. When they put that job out there, I would apply for it. But I was actually to the point where I was applying for everything that they was putting out there in the building, whether it was the mail-on clerk, whether it was the telephone rep or the cleanup. All I knew is that I wanted to work in that building. I don't care what position it was for. I just wanted to get my foot in because I felt like if I can just get my foot in the door, then I can work my way up.
Okay.
I'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, being determined, being loyal, being dedicated, and being faithful to the things that I believe in, things that I want, that I desire to have, is what has gotten me there in terms of my mama speaking into me, telling me to believe and have faith, and to also pray. Praying has got me a long way. So being prayerful and having a strong prayer life has also helped me, sustain me, and has kept me on course with actually getting to where I am. So I can't say that it was just me. It was me and my talk with the Lord that has gotten me there, and the prayers of my mother, for one, the prayers of my auntie, just the prayers of my family, period.
Okay.
Because everything that I've achieved, it has come by faith and my belief in God and talking to Him and asking Him for what I wanted.
Okay, perfect. Well, what's the last thing you've binge watched?
You said what's the last thing I what?
You binge watched, like as far as episodes, say on Netflix or the different things, like if something, the series of it. What's your favorite shows that you've watched? You just sat and watched all the episodes.
Oh, that's the thing. I don't watch much TV anymore. I'll say, what's the show that just went on TV? I would have to say there's a show called 24.
Okay.
And that and the other show with the president and Olivia Pope. What was that called?
Oh, Scandal.
Yeah,
Okay.
those are the two that I was more faithful with. I have never watched one Power show, so I wouldn't know what Power is about. Well, I know what Power is about based on everybody on the timeline of Facebook.
Right.
I actually was going to pay for it this time around to go ahead and, well, not pay for it. I was going to do the little, whatever it comes on free to catch up on the first 3 seasons. Never did.
Right.
So I was going to add it to my little cable thing to watch it when it came on this past weekend, and I didn't do it. So it's probably not meant for me to even get tied into it. But, yeah.
Okay.
But usually when I come home from work, usually it's about 7:30, 8. Because when I leave work, it's about 6:30. If I have some errands to run, whether it's at the grocery store or just go do something for my dad or go check on him or whatever, by the time I leave from there, make it to my house, it's sometime nearly 8:30. I have walked in the door, it's close to 9, which means I've left home at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I won't return back home until then. So my day I be kind of gone. And so when I do come home, by that time I'm looking at the news, catch a little bit of that, and I may flip the channel to something else, and TV end up watching me before it's done with. So I'm not that big of a fan into just making sure I'm right in front of the TV. Yeah.
No. Well, that's perfect. The next one is, what superpower would you like to have?
What superpower I like to have? Superpower. I think it's superpower. Ooh. Things that I can do to generate some money.
Okay.
To do things, well, superpower, anything for I guess, well, I already feel like I already know my strong one, so, I don't know, superpowers. When I think of a superpower,
you could be like the Hulk. You want to be able to crush stuff. You want to fly. You want to, which way you want to do?
Okay. Let's see. I don't want to fly. I guess be able to see things that see things that other people can't see. Like, I've seen a show like that. It was like, I guess have that, be able to be invisible to some.
Okay.
And they were, you could be there.
Yeah.
So they had that power of, because they were able to, like, do things, make things happen, but people couldn't see them.
Right. Okay. Well,
I can't think of what it is I'm trying to say, but yeah.
That works. Awesome. Well, we're going to move into our faith segment, and I wanted to know if you would share a time when your faith was tested and how you came through it. And this is just an opportunity for our guests to share so that someone who's listening can be encouraged.
A time when my faith was tested. I can think of several, but I can think of two. Let's see. I'll have to say the one time when I lost my job.
Okay.
I think that's when I learned. I'm not going to say I learned, but I already knew. But I think that's where I truly began to pray more.
Okay.
Pray harder. And I basically totally depended on God to make a way.
Okay.
Out of no way, basically, because I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew that I was the only sole provider in my house.
Okay.
As far as taking care of, my mom or whatever. And so, basically, I was trying to figure out some things on what my next move was going to be, and I didn't know. And it would seem like, basically, I was at a point of depression in a sense, because what am I going to do? If I don't have a job, I can't eat. If I don't have a job, I can't buy gas to put in my car. I can't pay my car note. I can't pay my rent. I can't pay my utility bills. And the only things that were going through my head, I can't go without these things. This is what keeps me going. This is basically, my livelihood. So it's like, what am I going to do? So I had to, not only was I praying about it, but I had to also do one of these things of, like, what they say, let your pride, go and accept and do something. Well, actually, I accepted a job through a temp service is what it was I ended up doing. But what I'm going to say is that basically I lost my job October of 2009, and I think, let's see, I had got one more paycheck in between that. I got my last paycheck right before Classic. And everybody knows Classic weekend is always the last weekend in October. So I think I had got my last paycheck the week before that, because my last day of working was the first week in October. So anyway, make a long story short, basically I didn't miss a beat on anything, because the first week in November I was working.
Yeah.
I had applied for unemployment, but I was denied. Right when I was about to send the paperwork and stuff back in to, see if I can get reevaluated for it, that's when I was called for a job with the temp service and got hired on with the temp service. And basically, that's just kind of how that went from that standpoint of me constantly praying out to God, Lord, help me, don't let me, go without this, or, whatever it is that you have designed for me or set up for me to do, show me the way, lead me this way, and, not let me be too hung up on, okay, this is what I'm used to making, or this is the type of work that I'm used to doing.
Yeah.
It was to the point I was applying for jobs at McDonald's and applying for jobs at retail stores, which I did get a job at a retail store, and I actually worked that part-time retail job up until 2014. I started working there in 2009 in Brookwood Mall at New York & Company, and I worked that part-time job up until 2014 when I started at my current job now. And actually probably would have still been working there, because me and the manager had built a relationship together, and she was pretty much working with my schedule with my current new job. So she was like, whenever you want to work, you can, you good. But anyway, to make a long story short, yeah, I was at a point where, okay, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make ends meet, even if that did mean I work 2 part-time jobs or work a part-time or full-time or whatever. So, and that's what I did. I worked the job through the temp service, which temp service eventually, the company that I worked for, they eventually hired me on from the temp service. They hired me on permanently with the company, and I still maintain the 2 jobs. And then, of course, again, I continue to apply, because my whole thing about that, when searching for a job, and actually this lady told me at the temp service, receptionist lady, she told me, she said, one thing about it, when you're out looking for a job, you can never find a job when you're looking for one. So she said, the best advice I can give you is to always stay a step ahead of the game, to basically, because everybody's looking for a job at some point or another, whether it's looking for one because they don't have one, or looking for one to for promotion, increase, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said the best thing for you to do is always just apply for a job, whether it's 2 jobs a day. Just apply.
Yeah.
Until you find what you want. That way you'll always have your resume out there and somebody is bound to call you at some point. And so that's what I did. Even once I got hired on with that company that hired me on, I was still just working. Whether it was at the hospital, whether it was in banking, whether it was county, city jobs, federal jobs, or whatever. It was just, I was looking on Indeed website, every career builder, just whatever search engine that was connected to an employer website. I was signing my name up for it, putting my resume out there, my email address out there, and I was always getting hit. Even to this day, actually, even now, I get calls now for people asking me, are you still interested in so-and-so position? And I'm like, I applied for that job about 2 years ago or something,
Yeah.
They're like, well, we now need, somebody to fill in there. So this is what I tell them. I was like, well, I know someone who may be looking for a job. You can reach out to them. I'll give you their telephone number. And a couple of people have been appreciative of it, and they say, okay, yeah, I got a phone call from so-and-so, and they said that you gave my number, because of, of my need of needing a job. So, but yeah, so I just feel like in that aspect, my faith was tested because, I was feeling defeated or feeling like I couldn't do what I needed to do as far as being the provider or being able to take care of myself. And who am I going to go to? Or, who's going to help me, this type thing. So when you've exhausted all sources, then, what do you do? Who do you go to? So I just had to basically, learn quickly how to just pray and knowing how to, once again, be patient. Know that, everything's going to happen in its perfect time. So, like I said, I didn't go without, or I didn't lose anything that I had going on as far as bills and car, anything like that. Everything just happened, lined up the way it needed to be when it was time for my first check on the new job. And so I just thank God for that. And then, I think that's pretty much it for the most part I can think of.
Yeah. No, perfect. And I know someone who hears that, they definitely will be encouraged to know that it's not over. That, definitely to pray about it and be able to know the answer is there. And they just have to open up their eyes to see it. So that's awesome.
And just not basically, and not only that, but just be willing, be open to trying something new. Be willing to make a sacrifice, or even if that does mean you take a war pay, because that's what I had to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I was making a whole lot more, but I knew I needed some money. So my husband was, like I said, even if that meant I had to work 2 part-time jobs to make something happen, then that's what I was going to do, because at least I knew some income, with honest living was better than none.
Yeah.
So I was willing to do that as well, which I did. Like I said, I worked the job full-time through the temp service until they decided to hire me on permanently. And I worked a part-time job as well.
Right.
And at the time, I was also in grad school. So I forgot about that. Yeah, so I was in grad school at the time all this was going on as well. So I had a full plate.
Right. No, that's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that.
You're so very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we're going to move into the closing segment. It's called Matters of the Heart Moment. And so I wanted to know, if you had the opportunity to speak to your 4-year-old self, what would you say to her?
I guess I would have to say, always be obedient. Be obedient to those that are over you, in charge over you, whether it's your parents, grandparents, or whoever that's taking care of you. Be respectful always, and don't take things lightly or for granted. Definitely as far as education, be very attentive, because I know for a fact, and I guess I probably should have mentioned that early on as it relates to when I was talking about the mentor. I knew it was something else. But one thing I did share at one point with one of my mentors my mentees, is that the opportunities that they have now is so much, and it's so valuable. The opportunities that they have, they don't realize, the advancement of things that they have, that they can put their hands on. I know when we were in school, we had the little different Apple computers and stuff like that, but now they have laptops. They have opportunities of even taking computers home with them if they don't have them at home. Things are just more hands-on and at their grasp now, more so. But the main thing that I was trying to get across to them, don't take advantage of going to class, learning all there is that you can learn. Don't feel like, you going to these AP classes, or you being in these certain classes in school that, what is it? The certain classes that they have to take when they're in school. Some kids
like their
feel
core
like, when
classes?
they go to these, some kids feel like when they are in these classes that they are not so cool or not so popular or whatever.
Oh, like,
when
the
actuality,
AP, like the honors classes, the AP classes.
Yeah.
Or they're not the popular because
they don't. Yeah, because of their peers, or if it's not that, they tend to feel like it's too hard, or this and other. And I feel like if I had that chance to go back and redo some things as it relates to taking tests and knowing how to take tests, or just being more open to learning so much more than what I know now, I think a lot of things wouldn't have been a struggle for me.
Okay.
Because I, for one, I can testify that I'll never forget with me attending a local school here. I remember looking at my GPA. I was trying to transfer to another school to, take classes to pursue my degree. But because I was transferring, they were looking at my transfer credits and what my GPA was. My GPA was under 2.0. And so with my GPA being under 2.0, I think it was like a 1.5, maybe a 1.9, but still, that's just horrible. that was just really horrible. And to know that I didn't let that defeat me or let that stop me, that the people in the school told me what I needed to do to get where I needed to be.
Wow.
And I was determined to show them, and not only to show them, but I was determined to show myself that I can do it. Because I knew when I left high school, I said I wanted to get a college degree.
Okay.
But neither one of my parents had a college degree.
Okay.
But I was the first one of both of my parents' kids to get a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
Well, even after I got a bachelor's degree, mind you, again, I started in a local school here with a 1-point-some GPA. But I transferred to another school, was advised what I needed to do to get where I needed to be. And the ultimate goal was to get a bachelor's degree. So I achieved it. I did get it. It took me a minute, but I did get it.
Yeah.
And when I got the bachelor's, I had like a 2 point. I think my GPA at that point was like a 2.8 or 2.6 or something like that. But I got it. So then I wasn't satisfied.
Okay.
I wasn't satisfied because I knew I wanted to make a certain type of income, but I had a manager to tell me that the reason why they couldn't promote me or give me this particular raise is because I didn't have a degree in something or whatever. And so I said, okay, well, I guess that means I'm going to go back to school again. And I didn't really want to go back to school because I didn't like writing papers. I didn't like being confined to a computer, having to go to class. I just wanted that something quick fix. I didn't take it seriously enough to know that, okay, if I had just did this when I was in high school or did this, the first time around when I was in college, and took these matters seriously, then, maybe I wouldn't be in such a rut now trying to, get grades or, get things that I'm trying to get because it was all based on me to begin with. But it was because I wanted to play around and I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. So by not going to class, by half turning in assignments, those type things. And so, and of course, during that time, you kind of, you're smelling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to hear that nobody has to tell you. That's why I say just be respectful and obedient, because a lot of things that people try to tell us when we're younger, we don't want to hear because we feel like we know it all, or, they don't know what they're talking about. But when I look back over my life, some of the things that my mom or my grandmother, just a teacher in general may have tried to instill in me or try to show me, or help me that would have had a better outcome if I had just listened, just sit still a little longer in class, or, put a little extra time into some homework, or read more books, or, not been in front of, trying to, do things that I shouldn't have been doing. I probably wouldn't have had to, go through a few things that I had to go through in order to get where I am.
Okay.
So basically, I did go back to school again, and I received my MBA. So, when I finished school, that time I ended up with a 3.5 GPA. So I was proud of myself for that. But basically, like I say, a lot of things we take for granted as it relates to our education, as it relates to certain opportunities, and things that we just don't apply ourselves enough. And we don't apply ourselves, we kind of look for people to give stuff to us. And I guess that's because that's how it's been handed down to us from our parents.
Mm-hmm.
They give, or either they do things for us and it kind of put us in a disadvantage or a crutch sometimes. And when it's time for us to, do things on our own, we're kind of clueless. We don't know how to go about getting it or fending for yourself type thing. So, basically just try to, take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you, and just be very conscientious of the things that people are trying to tell you, and stick to your goals. And it's okay to dream big, and I guess for the most part, just stay with God.
Okay.
And love yourself and love your family, your friends, and just everything else will pretty much line up.
Yeah.
For the most part, and come full circle.
Perfect. Well, Tynice, we want to thank you so much for being with us today and sharing, a piece of who you are with us.
Well, you're so very welcome. Thank you again for inviting me into this segment, and I hope this presentation has been a good one for your audience to hear. So, thank you for having me. I do appreciate it, and so you've given me some pointers of some things to think about as well.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Awesome. Well, that's a good thing. That definitely is good. Awesome. Well, our goal at the Flora Pearl Foundation is to always be a blessing to all of those that we come in contact with by operating with the spirit of excellence. We want to thank you all so much for listening today, and you can visit our website at www.florapearlfoundation.org. We look forward to spending time with you all each week, and we will talk to you soon.